Salutations to the most wonderful people. How about that? Hey. Breathe and put yourself in the mood of a class. Happy and simple. You should keep your document close if you're not sure of the mantras. Oh yeah, the number. Good. Fluffy master. Yeah. Why not? This week we're studying step 6 of the process. Step 6 of the process. So we go back to Dasadasha Mudra. Sorry about that. I hope you don't hear my notifications. Om Dasadasha Duvini Dudevataya Hom Pat. Om Dasadasha Duvini Dudevataya Hom Pat. Om Dasadasha Duvini Dudevataya Hom Pat. Om Navanavanapaya Mahasrija Swaha. Om Navanavanapaya Mahasrija Swaha. Om Navanavanapaya Mahasrija Swaha. If you remember, the switch between Mudra 1 and 3. This is my left hand, even though you see it as right. We went from Pearl, Mudra 1, to Bowl, Mudra 3. This time, I don't know, maybe a bit of OCD. I want to be centered in the camera. This time, from the Dasadasha Mudra, which is not a good name for the mudra. The demon-born mudra, no. It's just the first concept of the mantra associated. So we put the thumb on the side of the index. When we go from the 4th to the 6th mudra, which is like this, look. Okay, so that now it's the index pointing the middle of the thumb, of the last phalange of the thumb. Okay. So from 4 to 6. And if it's no effort, pull down the pinky and the ring slowly. If it's no effort. Some of us have the fingers linked together in the nervous system. So we cannot move just the 2 fingers. Some are stuck with all 3. Okay? Don't force it. Just relax into it. Okay? So from the 4th mudra, point the thumb, relax the last 2 fingers. Okay? If you can't move those last 2 fingers without the middle one, you bring out all of them. It's fine. Okay? simple. Let's review the mantra. Just in case, to make sure I'm telling you the good things. Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Again, a swaha at the end. So the attitude will be relaxed, honorable, grateful, honoring the greatness. There's a few misinterpretations possible of that mantra, so we'll cover step by step. Vajrasana means calm Vajra. Hey, calm your Vajra. As a funny expression would be. Most of us on a power trip, which I would include myself from time to time, we want to feel Vajra as ultimate power. That's the ego's need. And it makes us forget the paradoxical nature of the Vajra, which is both intense and absent. Vajrasana reminds us, hey, calm your Vajra, or with a calm state of Vajra. So that side of the paradox. We want to avoid revolutionary states in this mantra. So we start with Vajrasana. The Vajra is not an excited thing. If your Vajra is always powerful lightning, hard diamond, then you'll notice the power trip. The Vajra is always in a state of stability. The Vajra never gets excited. If it's lightning, it ends the moment it starts. Well, that's what we have the impression when we perceive a lightning. If it's diamond, the property is not that it's harder than anything else, super strong. The property of diamond, it is that it is not affected by anything. It's super relaxed. Okay? So Vajrasana is the calm state of true self, not, like Raven wrote, calm state of power. Like I said, we are tempted to interpret Vajra as power, and it is not. Vajra is the paradoxical state of truth. Okay? So not power. Power is the impression we have of the Vajra. But the Vajra is unbreakable. It is not a mistake from Raven. It is the normal reflex to go to these associations. Okay? Yes, the feeling of Vajra is power because of the ego's misinterpretation. I would prefer Vajra being interpreted as absolutes. But even then, you would go for absolute power, absolute peace. And we would forget the paradoxical nature that absolutes means nothing else to contrast it. So, no more drama. it doesn't matter. Okay. So let's keep it simple. Vajra is a paradoxal truth. In the expanded philosophical interpretation. Vajrasana is for us to be calm. It educates us to be peaceful in the Vajra state. A little bit of phonetics. There is no Z in Sanskrit. The sound Z and J, like the English George, management, J, okay, that sound J, and Z is very close. In Sanskrit, it's almost the same letter. The Z is between the J and the Z, like J, okay? That's for the phonetic freaks. Otherwise, we choose to use a Z for Zana to make it simple. And if you pronounce it Zana, it's good. I pronounce it Vajrasana, which is the crossing of Z, J, and Sh. Okay, Vajrasana. Okay. The J or Hota in Sanskrit is J, like Jal, Jaya. That is a precise J. The Z, it's one of those J. So you can go with Z if you want. That was just a phonetic parenthesis. That is not dramatic. Let's contemplate Vajrasana. Did you identify Vajra as power? Did you use in the past the feeling of Vajra to empower yourself, to make you feel great and excited? We permit these feelings when we initiate the newbies. It's too complex to have the people feel the Vajra without the excitement. The Vajra, once accomplished, has nothing to be excited about. It is absolute. And your ego is tempted to go towards power. Infatuation, like, wow, the Vajra. Now it's time to practice Vajra as a calm thing. Not a relaxed thing. Although you should relax. It is calm. Not excited. Observe yourself in this topic. Vajrasana. Vajrasana. I'm using the Z, zeta more now to make it easy for you. Right? There's nothing wrong getting excited. But that is not the true state of Vajra. There's nothing wrong with power trips. It's fun to discover things about forces in the universe, how nature works. But that is not the Vajra. So integrate that. the reflex to go for power and excitement. Probably to entertain you when you are bored. You would choose this to feel something. Because contemplating the emptiness of the Vajra is the less pleasant side of it. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. All right. Pranapadaya, the easiest interpretation, which is still valid, but not the most accurate, is to think it in your mind as the word prana and pada, and then the ya is a grammatical accord. Okay, pranapadaya. That is not the accurate interpretation, but let's study what it means to walk with the magic energy. Pranapadaya, to step into the magical world. To walk in prana, basically. Like I said, it's not the actual interpretation of this one. But just saying it, it would be easy to think so. And it's not so far from the truth. So we mention it. I felt there was something else, because that didn't fit. Calmly being the Vajra, I dwell in prana. Oh, see, it's tempting. Oh, it's tempting for the magical ego. But it would lead to denial, to flee this world into a magical one. So let's not do this. We will use instead the words pra, which means verily or a lot, and napadai, unruly. Okay. When we say Om Namah Shivaya, and in other mantras there's pranam. Okay. Nam is salute. Pranam is prostrate, which is salute a lot. Okay. So when you put pra in front of a word, it makes this very implicated. Napadai is to not be concerned by rules and limitations. Pranapadaya is to be completely unaffected by rules and limitation, which leads to liberation. Okay. The ego will run towards revolution and proclaim, laws do not apply to me. Wait a minute. Ooh, calm your Vajra. We didn't say laws don't apply to you. We said that we are unaffected by rules and limits. Nothing to do with laws. The laws of your country are there to maintain the safety of your country. They're there to ensure that the money is well managed and that no one can cause suffering to others. At least that's the ultimate goal. Okay. We have to avoid nourishing revolutionary thoughts about that. In a way, if you feel that you are not affected by rules or limits, it could mean that conditioning does not really matter. That your culture and its beliefs don't really apply to you or affect you. It could mean every time you believe something has to be done in a specific way, that you let go of that. It's very philosophical. It requires contemplation to think rules and limitation do not apply to me. But that is not what we said. We are unaffected or not troubled, not disturbed by rules and limits. So that could mean that if there is a limit to respect, you don't mind. If there is a rule in your culture that things has to be done this or that way, that it will not be a problem for you. That you are not affected by the rules and the limits. So that too is paradoxical. In one way, it means you don't care about rules and limits, but also that it's not dramatic if there is some. That mantra is about the release of your rigidity and your control. If things are done in a way and it doesn't bring suffering, just do them in that way. And if things are done in a certain way and it brings suffering, don't do them in that way. Pranapadaya is about releasing control, letting go of your beliefs, letting go of your Cartesian ways to do everything, and still do it if it's wise, but not be stuck in it. If someone always manages the tube of toothpaste and the roll of toilet paper in the bathroom, your lover or your family, they do it differently than you. Do you press the tube? Do you roll the end? Funny enough, it kind of bugs us when someone does it differently. Well, not to me anymore at least, but I remember that it did. And I remember that sometimes people find that example funny. That's because it's really insignificant. There are other things in your house, in your neighborhood, in society that are done not in the way you would. And it really disturbs you. If you can change rules and limits, and it would bring more happiness than suffering, then change it. And if you can't do anything about it, let that shit go. In any case, calm your Vajra. Stay chill. Okay. Seal number 4. Great power is being released. Tasa daja duvini du devataya. And the tip of your tongue is in the middle of the index. So you're grounding the finger of power. Now it is power getting into the earth, sinking. And your fingers relax. Now wisdom is still contained, but your feelings and your thoughts will rest in your body. Okay? So they're not expanded, so they're not excited. They're not focused inside. You just rest. Okay? So power trips be gone. Vajrasana. Pranapadaya. Home swaha. It's a swaha, not a humpa. Okay. We had the first 4 mantras finish with humpat. Now 2 mantras in a row finish with swaha. Relax. Just chill. Embrace. Release. Your rigidity in this case. Let go of rigidity. Now we have to speak of the last interpretation, or one more interpretation. Imagine the possibility of not concerning yourself with rules and limits. In the ego, it feels good to think that you are limitless. So let's talk about self-confidence. If you feel you're not worth it or not good enough, it imposes a form of limit to you. I can't do that. When we limit ourselves to what we can do and cannot do, before we even experiment, we limit ourselves to our possibilities. Let me re-say that. We limit our possibilities. There is something prudent to respect your limits as they were established in nature. I cannot do martial arts like when I was a teenager or in my early 20s. It's not wise for me to do that. I respect that limit. I am not bothered by it. I have calmed my Vajra. It's okay. It's good. Anything we try to do, if it's prudent to respect your level of health and capacity, that's good. But if you want to build something for your future, to maintain the present happy as long as possible, and you think this will never happen, I'll never have enough comfort, no one will ever love me that way, you're putting yourself pessimistic thoughts, limits. To be pessimist is to be affected by rules and limitation that you have imposed on yourself. So, aside from prudence, imagine the possibilities of not having any pessimism inside you. Nothing with limits of what you can or cannot do. Let's find out if you care. And if you don't want to find out, let's not find out. I don't want to find out if I like scuba diving. I don't care. I would like to find out how it feels to be in the spaceship in space. I don't think it's going to happen. That's not pessimist. It's a realist. It could. I mean, it could. Everything's possible. Early in life, I wanted to experiment things. If I had thought anything pessimistic, I would not manifest it. I wanted to talk to the doctors of quantum physics, those that we saw in the movies, in the 1990s. They invited me. They wrote to me to say, come. Okay, cool. I wanted to participate to the United Nations. They invited me. I just felt it. And someone from United Nations invited me to be a delegate for a week. I think it's not much, but someone told me it's better than most people who want to be a delegate of United Nations, who never will. But I just felt it. I wanted to feel what it feels to be an artist walking out of a limousine on a red carpet and having journalists take your pictures. 2 months after, I was living it. Tons of things that you find in movies of science fiction. Working with spies and military. Every childhood dream I had, almost all of them manifest. It would not happen if inside I would think, this will never happen to me. Do you understand? So that's, for me, the most useful application of pranapadaya. To not be concerned with rules and limitations. Simply be wise and prudent when they should apply, when it's the compassionate way. But know that everything is possible. And some will not manifest. And some will. Just keep growing. Like any desire, mourn what does not come. And embrace what manifests. but remove from your subconscious this or that is not possible. These are rules and limitations. These are beliefs that you should get rid of. Just be available. Hey, let's see what happens. Okay? Vajrasana pranapadaya. In a calm state of Vajra. Unaffected by rules and limitations. With all the possible interpretations. It is the most compassionate thing to follow the laws of your country. So you do that. It is not compassionate to hate yourself thinking you do not deserve it. So work on yourself. Do some personal growth. Okay? And with the mantra, we render grace to the universe, glory to God, if you believe in God. And that is how to use this mantra. Okay. Let's do 3 recitation of seal number 4, 5, and 6. Okay? 4. Om Dasadaja Duvini Du Devataya Humpa. Om Dasadaja Duvini Du Devataya Humpa. Om Dasadaja Duvini Du Devataya Humpa. Om Nabanabanapaya Mahasrija Swaha. Om Nabanabanapaya Mahasrija Swaha. Om Nabanabanapaya Mahasrija Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Limitless. Unruled. To the point that even the beliefs you have not resolved don't affect you, even though their potential are still there. Don't even limit yourself to yourself. After all that discovery, I was wanting validation. Am I right in this interpretation? Because it could be the other possibility, prana pada. And it is then that I realized the Chinese interpret a long time ago also wrote pra separately and napadaya as a word. So that's when it confirmed for me that was the good interpretation. Just a little anecdote about how I analyzed that mantra when I rebuilt the system in the best of my ability. The mala goes to the left hand. This is my left hand, even if you see it reversed. The mudra is relaxed. And we will do the recitations. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Sana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana 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 Pranapadaya Swaha. Ana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana 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 Pranapadaya Swaha. Sana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana 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 Pranapadaya Swaha. Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Om Swaha. Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Daya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya 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 Swaha. Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana 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 Pranapadaya Swaha. Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya 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 Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Calm your Vajra. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana. Transcendence, it happens. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Padrapadaya Pranapandaya. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. Om Vajrasana Pranadapaya Swaha. That was a mess at the end. Laugh at yourself, laugh at me. It's all good. The mantra worked, the initiation worked. Sometimes because I'm thinking of other things I want to teach. That was not the case. That's because I went a bit too fast. Yeah, it was meant to happen eventually. Om Vajrasana Pranapadaya Swaha. I went too fast at the first because it rolled good. But I started feeling all the energy and the transcendence. My base chakra, yeah, that thing about the tip pointing the index, it makes your base chakra, it's like the power goes into the ground, like ground yourself. And I started to transcend. So it was fun. It was funny. It's okay. We did it. And it's okay. The initiation worked. Because it's the entire class and your efforts. And then you're going to practice it together. Okay. Next week, we do seal number 7. And the week after, we have a pause from initiation. But someone who speaks both Spanish and English, maybe French also, will simply do a review. Okay? Comments about the hair again. So, after 7, we start to relax. Someone will do a review, not me. So you can follow the review if you want to do it together. And the review will be available to all. If a translator can do the French, would be cool, but it's not going to be a class. Someone will just say the mantra, remind the mudra, and then you have a week of just thinking about all the dynamics of the 7. Not obsessed with it, just think about that first series. Okay? And then we do 8 to 14, another review, and then 15 to 21, and so on. Okay? That's how we're going to do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Have a very good week, and speak to you next week on the powerful one.